Let's see, which way do I want to go? Let's go left. Alright, this is the second test for my mic. My very first ride, my very first moto vlog, it was clear, but I was still getting some kind of it was kind of like in a echo chamber, or I was still getting some wind noise. So I did a little bit of a modification, so now I'm testing it out and see how it goes. I had a iPhone microphone, or kind of a headbud microphone, that I cut the headbuds off, and I attached it to the GoPro module, or the mic module here. And I also, instead of using a foam wind blocker, or whatever you call it, I ordered some of those lavalier dead cats. And I think I got like half a dozen for like $6 or $8. There were some cheapos. So I actually got those, took the foam off of the mic, and I got the lavalier little dead cats, and I kind of cut them because they were the kind that would go over like a little tiny, they were like a round ball. So I cut them to where they were flat. I cut 2 of them. I wrapped them around the mic and put like really tiny rubber bands on them. You can't even see them. I got the rubber bands from my daughter. She wears braces, so I got those little tiny rubber bands. They hold them on pretty well. So now I got it in between the foam, or the headliner here, and the helmet in the cheek weld. So we'll see how it goes. I need to find me a nice little road where there's nobody on. Maybe I'll go to the lake. I couldn't think about what to talk about, but I thought, you know what? Let's talk about why I bought a bobber instead of a Harley Davidson. Because I was 99.9% sure that I was going to buy a Harley. I mean, that's all I've ever looked at when it comes to basically cruisers. I thought, you know, one of these days, whenever I get out of the super bikes, I'm gonna get me a cruiser, and I didn't ever think about anything else. It was always a Harley Davidson. And now I'm sitting on a bobber, and I absolutely love it. I mean, it is awesome. It's a good cross between a superbike and a cruiser. So why am I on a bobber? Well, I'd been looking pretty hard at cruisers for probably the last 6-7 months. I'd been to the Harley dealership probably half a dozen times, half the time I was with my wife, and I had already gotten pre-approved. I mean, I got pre-approved for $24,000 because Harleys can get pretty expensive. Now, the kind that I was looking at probably didn't get that expensive, but I wanted just a little bit of a buffer. And I was looking really hard at the 48s and the 83s. But every time I went into the Harley dealership, I couldn't get anybody to talk to me. I don't know if it was because of the way I was dressed, what vehicle I was driving, if I wasn't dressed the part, I don't know. Yeah, I would just walk in there and, you know, I'd be looking at bikes, and heck, I'd pull into the parking lot. They'd be having a tent sale. There'd be salesmen standing around, a group of 2 or 3, just talking, BSing. I would walk up there, they would look at me, and then they would start talking to each other again. I mean, I couldn't understand it. I'd be out there looking at a bike. Actually, I'd be looking at all of them. Outside under the tent, inside. But they'd always have these signs all over them. Do not touch. Do not get on the bike. I mean, I felt like I had to do the work. to try to go find somebody. And then whenever I did, it was like they couldn't wait to stop talking to me so they could go move on and go BS with their buddies. I don't know. I mean, I'm not knocking Harley Davidson because I love Harleys, and I'll probably own a Harley. As soon as I pay off this bobber, I'll probably get me an 83 or, you know, something like that, because I've always wanted a Harley. That's the reason why I'm on a bobber now. One day I was driving through Norman and I happened to see Indian Motorcycles, and I thought, hey, I had no idea they had a motorcycle shop here in Norman. I'm going to drop by and take a look. So I pull in with my wife. I walk in and immediately get greeted by a salesperson, and he didn't even say, hey, come over here, let me show you this bike. No, he just said, hey, how's it going, man? What you been up to today? And we just started BSing. We even got on the subject of my daughter playing soccer and talking dad stuff. All the while, you know, I'm sitting around looking at bikes, and he would see me looking at a bike, he would tell me about it, and he'd say, hey, get on it, you know. And I'd like, all right. And then another customer would come in and he'd say, hey, let me go talk to this guy over here, and you take a look, whatever you want, you know, get on whatever you want, check them out. I was like, all right. So I got on some different bikes, and I mean, I really liked the bobber. I mean, pretty much it was like, oh man, that bobber is nice, I like it. And I'm one of those guys that once I get my mind set on something, it's pretty much set. So he even said, hey, you know, why don't you come over and sit on this one? This is probably a little bit more comfortable than the bobber. I just want you to check some things out. Make sure that you know what the differences are between these bikes. It was definitely the right price, because they had a bunch of 2019s coming in, and this was the last 2018 they had left on the floor. It was basically $2,500 cheaper, and I thought, so I mean, the shop's not that huge, not like a big Harley Davidson dealership, but when you walked in, you felt welcome. I mean, heck, there was like a couch there, there was like a little fireplace, a TV, coffee. I felt like a VIP. You know, they treated me right, and I got lured in, and I'm glad I did, because this is an absolute beast. I love it. It's the only bike that I've had where I pull up to a stop, and I swear, the first week I had it, I probably got compliments at every stoplight, like 2 or 3 times a day, and I still do. I mean, just last week I was riding, come up to a stoplight, and the kid looks out the window and he says, hey man, that's a nice bike. Coming up to the lake now, so we won't have all these, hopefully we won't have all these vehicles all around. You know, like I said, I'm not knocking Harley or anything, but I basically kind of felt like an outsider whenever I went there. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of people feel, first-time buyers, I guess, because I see a lot of that stuff on the forum, that I guess if you're not riding a Harley, they're not gonna, I mean, I don't know why that is. When I was riding a super bike, I waved at everybody. I love all bikes. Ooh, that guy wreck over there? Looks like his bike is down. Hope he's okay. Well, it looks like he's alright. That's one of the reasons why. Well, actually, that's the big reason why I'm on a bobber right now. I just felt that I was attended to, that I was important, that not only did they want me to be a part of the biking community, but, you know, be part of the group. And I felt that way with Indian. I mean, when I walked in there, they're like, hey, you know, have you ever owned one? I was like, no. They said, you're gonna love it. And they just, you know, they opened up their arms. felt like going into a Harley dealership that I had to go through a little probation period or something. I don't know. Maybe I was. I mean, you guys tell me, because I have no idea. I mean, I've been at Harley shops before, but maybe it was the way I was dressed. Pulling up in my Land Rover, I didn't look like the biker. But, you know, regardless, I mean, we bikers need to stick together. If there's somebody that's interested in riding bikes, we should encourage that. You know, and not eat the young per se, you know what I mean? But I've always wanted a Harley. I've always wanted one. Which I probably will. I'll probably get me a Harley. I mean, I could have both. I could have Indian and Harley. I mean, I could be on a Harley right now if I was just, I don't know, if I was just treated a little bit better, or if somebody actually took an interest in me, you know, on purchasing a bike. Because I guarantee you, if they would have paid a little bit of attention to me, I would be on a Harley right now. Because the Indian was not even on my radar. I mean, it truly wasn't. I'd be making videos right now on a Harley Davidson. But I'm happily doing it on a Scout Bobber. And it's freaking awesome. Maybe if I wear some really worn jeans and a biker wallet with a chain and t-shirt, and I walk to a Harley Davidson shop, maybe they'll pay attention to me. Kind of sad you have to do that, but that's the way I feel like you have to dress to get anybody to pay attention to you. I mean, yeah, I wore this sport bike leather here. I mean, so? Do I want a black one? Yeah. So, you guys tell me what you guys have experienced going to a Harley dealership. I mean, I'm not going to stop going because I like to look at bikes, and I like Harley. I like Indian. I'm going to go to all those motorcycle shops. I just like looking at motorcycles. So I'm not going to stop going. I'll continue to go. Maybe you guys can give me some pointers. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, I mean, you guys tell me. Am I the only one that has experienced this?